Welcome to GAMEpoch, the show where I play through the history of games in order of release, starting with Super Mario Bros. And right now, I am playing Ghosts and Goblins on the Nintendo. So I'm a little more than halfway through level 2. So here we go. Kill the crow. Trying to get past these, what are they, ogres? It's a little annoying, but if I can nail them fast enough, they won't get a shot at me. And you gotta be careful because they'll draw things on you from above. I like comparing this game to Castlevania because they're so similar in their control scheme. And in their monster theme, because, you know, Castlevania is all about traditional horror monsters, and you know, Ghosts and Goblins is obviously just, that's exactly what all this is. But I feel like in every conceivable way, Castlevania is a superior and more enjoyable game. In fact, I adore the Castlevania series, at least the originals, the classic Vania, if you will. Really? I'm actually not a big fan of the Metroidvania-style Castlevania games later on. They're not as engaging. I don't know, I just can't get into them, but the originals, they just have what this game tried to do totally nailed. And I enjoy them so much. No! Junk! Alright, here we go again. So this game, as I said, it feels rough, unfinished, unpolished, buggy, glitchy, and, I don't know, just almost kind of slapped together. Honestly, that's the way I feel about it. That's the way it feels when I play it. But Castlevania feels very well thought out and refined and planned. And like you can actually develop legitimate skills in order to overcome its challenges. Not only figuring out the layouts of the levels and where the enemies are placed and how to beat them, but also like, well, I guess that's the big thing, is really how to beat enemies is kind of a big deal, because in this game, you can only kind of take that so far with beating enemies, because there's so much to them, it's so erratic and hard to predict. While with Castlevania's enemies are what they are. You can figure out what their patterns are, and once you get it down, you can become very skilled and just dominate the game, while with this game, it's like, yeah, you know what's coming, still, good luck. I don't like that. Because to me, that's not as rewarding. There's a very rewarding feeling to overcoming a challenge that you can tell has a clear solution that you just haven't yet figured. And that was Jesus. I just walked on water or something. I was incredibly lucky. When you have something very challenging, but you are able to develop the skills and the knowledge of a situation in order to overcome it. And you apply those skills, the quick reflexes, and the knowledge of what to do in order to overcome the challenge, that is rewarding. Especially when you can do it over and over and over again and realize, yeah, I got this. This is clockwork now. It used to be so challenging and frustrating to figure out, but oh man! But now that I've gotten it down where I understand what to do, and I've developed my skills where I can actually handle doing it, ooh, the feeling of satisfaction is really something special. This game doesn't give you that. Once you understand what you're facing in this game, it just becomes a, yeah, now you know what to expect. You're gonna be lucky to get past this. Good luck. It doesn't matter how skilled you get, it's still gonna be kind of based on the whim of how things go. That is extremely frustrating and unsatisfying, and to me, not fun. I will admit that, oh, come on! Stupid ogre! That I do get, like, nowadays, as I've played through this more and more and gotten a bit more... Jeez! I can't even get past the stupid buildings! I've done it, like, 50 times, and I'm still struggling to do it. This is what I'm talking about. Like, either I really just haven't figured out the exact trick, or there's just too much randomness to it for me to really get through it with the skills I've developed. I'm not sure, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, maybe, that it's just that I haven't really figured it out or developed the correct skills. Maybe. I tend to not think so, which is why I tend to absolutely... Oh, for God! My hatred for this game bubbles to the surface very quickly. Like, very, very, very quickly. And I've beaten it multiple times, mostly in preparation for this series. I recently did it, just last week when I was trying to film this, and ended up messing it up because my camera died halfway through the second stage, and I couldn't do the filming anymore, so I was like, well, I'll just play through it, I guess. Because I'd rather have you guys watch something of some level of skill, rather than me just going, I suck, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm taking a million tries to get through this. Doesn't seem to have helped, though, because I'm still struggling on just level 2. Granted, I still think that this is one of the hardest levels in the game. I actually got through the second to last level, well, the second to last real level, in fewer attempts than it's taking me to get through this level. And oh! It's mostly those blue birds, those crows. They're pure evil. This game is so incredibly aggravating. Because a lot of the time, it feels like your progress is literally just stolen from you. It doesn't feel like, oh man, I messed up. This was my own fault. And you'll notice that for the most part, when I was dying in Mario, I didn't really get mad at the game so much as I got mad at myself. Part of that was just because I've learned to not blame other things for my own weaknesses, which I suffered with all growing up. You know, my own, like, little... I couldn't be wrong, so it must be this thing's fault complex. As an imperfect human being. But also because the thing with Mario is it's so tightly controlled and well-designed that once you get that and realize that that's the case, you have to understand, or you get an understanding that, no, this was my own fault, I wasn't careful enough, or I wasn't patient enough, or I missed that jump, that was my own fault. And you realize that your deaths are your fault, not the game's fault. That is so not the way I feel about this game. Maybe others will disagree with me, but, oh, this game just... It always feels like the game's fault. Not always. Most of the time, for me, it feels like the game was being cheap. That is not what you want players to be thinking about your game. You don't want them to think that your game is the one that's causing them to die, not them. I'm a little mixed on that one. See, this should be happening. I'm taking this whole episode just to get through the second half of the second stage, and I've beaten this stage several times. So what's the deal? I don't know. A lot of people have said that, like, the modern day Souls games, Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, that those games are like the modern day equivalent of the classic Castlevania games, because of their difficulty and horror themes or whatever. Maybe. I'm playing through Demon Souls right now, and I actually had a really hard time playing those games when I started them. In fact, I still have only really spent any amount of time in Demon Souls, and I'm working on it right now. That game makes me lose my patience very quickly, because it takes so long and so much effort to get through a section of a level just to lose all that progress and have to start through the whole thing all over again. With really your only advantage knowing what's coming, and you still have to suffer through all of it. I have a hard time finding fun in that. And a lot of people go, oh, the game beat you, ha ha ha, you're a weakling or whatever, and... I don't know. People who have the patience for that kind of thing, you're a special kind of sadist. Maybe my opinion will change of some of the later games, depending on how they handle saving your progress and stuff, because I really hate having to go through the same sections over and over again because I'm messing up getting through the next area that I haven't quite yet figured out. That is one of the most aggravating things. And unfortunately, this game is kind of bad with that. And Demon Souls is... Whoa! What? What was that? See, that was not my fault. And that's what I'm talking about. That is exactly the kind of crap I absolutely hate about this game. You don't do that. That's not okay. That looks like a straight up glitch. The platform is not supposed to change direction. That was not what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to go all the way to the bottom. And I timed my jump based on that. And yet, I died because of the game. That is bad. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. That is not okay. That is extremely frustrating, and not for good reasons. This is, the kind of ragey side coming out of me. This game really does it to me. And if I wasn't trying to keep this series, clean for a broader appeal, there would be all sorts of flowers flying out of my mouth right now, if you get my drift. Anyway, for the moment I'm going to pause this so I can stop this and go on to the next episode. Wish me luck. Episode 3, I should be at the end of the episode. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and wait to continue this until I've reached the boss. And I'm just going to go ahead and just skip forward until I've gotten to the boss and I beat it. So, thanks for joining me for episode 2 of Ghosts and Goblins. MystikDan signing out. See you in the next one. Bye.